Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. So, um, let's talk about Allie and Eric. So Eric has pretty much been saying the same thing that he's been saying for the last 3 episodes, probably more. Um, Allie, listen, you need to sit there and think about: are you sure you want to give your baby up for adoption to Rafe? Because once you do that, you can't go back. You need to make sure you're 100% sure. And, Allie kind of walks off a little bit like, oh, you think I'm not sure? Here's the thing that's starting to annoy me about Allie. Allie wants to sit there and constantly talk about how she's an adult and people need to stop treating her like she's a kid. But she needs to act like an adult too. And that means hearing stuff that she doesn't want to hear. Like, listen, not every conversation is going to go your way. You can't just stop off and walk away every time and get upset every time somebody says something that you don't like. It's just something that is starting to annoy me about her. Anyway, apparently we're stepping on eggshells with her. So Eric apologizes that he didn't really have to. And it's like, all right, listen, how about we think about this scenario? You go back to London, whatever. At some point, you have family here. You're going to come back. Are you going to tell this child that you're her or him, your bio mom? And she's like, well, I didn't really think about that. Eric is like, listen, you need to think about all this stuff before you decide to make this decision. And I was like, thank you, and this, that, and the third. And then she makes a beeline straight to Rafe. Like it just went in one ear and out the other. So anyway, she, finds Rafe at the police station. She asks him, she does this whole buttering him up thing. And then she just flats out ass, hey, listen, will you adopt my baby? Eric is like, what? He just has that look on his face, and that scene pretty much ends. So she didn't learn anything. On the other side of town of people who did not learn anything, you have Will and Sonny sitting there still talking about adopting Allie's baby. Will is like, listen, we need to make sure that we don't pressure her. And Sonny's like, yeah, sure, we're not going to because, this, that, and the third. But let's go and ask her anyway. It's like, did you not hear anything that Lucas said? I swear, I feel like, and granted, I'm pretty sure Sonny and Will are both older than Allie, and yet anyway, so they go and they trying to find Allie, and they go to Eric's house, and Eric is like, well, Allie's not here, which made their scene entirely pointless. Entirely pointless. They literally could have cut that scene out, and it wouldn't have added anything to the episode. So let's go to Gwen, Claire, Ben, and Sierra. So it leads off from yesterday where the dress being ruined, and Ben is like, yeah, I think Claire did it, and Sierra's like, listen, we'll go there, we'll ask. If she says she didn't do it, we'll let it go. Because Ben was like, yo, listen, I'm 99% sure she did it. Like, actually, I'm 100% sure. Anyway, they go over there, they question Claire, and Claire's like, no, I didn't do it, I don't know what happened, blah, blah, blah. And that's when Ben comes in, and Ben starts getting on her, and then Gwen jumps on Ben, and this whole argument starts to erupt, and literally about to, like, at one point, Gwen and Sierra is literally about to sit there and start throwing fists. And Claire's like, she breaks it up, and she's like, listen, Sierra, I didn't do it. Because here's the thing, when they got into the apartment, nail polish was the thing that ruined the dress. So when they go there, Ben finds nail polish. Same nail polish that was in the beginning of the scene when you had Claire using nail polish when she was sitting there talking to Gwen. So anyway, Claire's like, listen, I didn't do it. I hope you believe me. Sierra's like, yeah, sure, whatever. I believe, she's like, yeah, if you say you didn't do it, you didn't do it. Fine. So, what do you got? You got Ben and Sierra leave. And then, when they're gone, Gwen is like, so, did you do it? And Claire's like, no, I didn't do it. And Gwen is like, alright, so, listen, they're not here anymore. I only jumped in because I ain't like that dude Snip there coming at you that way. But they're not here anymore. So did you do it? And, you know, Ciara pretty much just, and pretty much Claire just sits there and says no. So, there's this whole scene where Ben and Ciara get back to their place, and, well, anyway, they make out, and that's pretty much about it. Because at one point, I'm not gonna lie, at one point, you know, Ciara's kind of stressed or whatever, and Ben is about to say something, and Ciara just cuts him off. It's like, listen, if you're gonna sit there and tell me this, that, and the third, don't bother. And then Ben says something nice, and then they make out. And that pretty much ends that. I need a drink for this one. So let's talk about Gabby and Jake. So they're at the hospital waiting for, you know, they got the test results, and Gabby's reading them, and Jake is like, what is it? Gabby's like, well, there's a lot of sciencey stuff. I'm just kind of just, you know, reading through it. Jake is pretty much just like, so do you need help so we can kind of speed this along? And Gabby's like, no, I'm fine or whatever. So she reads it, and she's like, you know, you are Stefan DeMero. I told you. Jake looks at it and he's like, you know what, listen, I didn't believe you, but you were right. So, listen, I will give a character credit when I feel like they do something right. And and Gabby did do something right. You know, she literally did fine. She literally did sit there and find, you know, the proof. And she was right about him being Stefan all along. When everyone else doubted him, and everyone else doubted her, she was right. So I give her credit for that. With that being said, Gabby comes across as the type of person that feels like that their life can't be complete without a man. Okay? She catching it to talking about how, oh, well, now we could sit there and you know, now feel... I think at one point she literally said, now my life is complete. And she was just going on and on and on, but like, oh, I agree, love, this, that, and the third, and yada, yada, yada. And I'm not gonna lie, it just kind of came across as like very desperate and very clingy. Listen, I get it. You know, the love of your life is back, and you are happy, and it's great. But like, he doesn't remember you, you know? And as far as you are concerned, this guy had a whole nother life before he knew you. And you know, Jake even said, it's like, listen, you know, I don't feel anything for you. I don't remember you. And, you know, so Gabby goes on and on and on for a little bit. And then, Rafe comes in, and Gabby's like, oh, well, you need to sit there. Gabby's like, oh, well, you need to sit there and, you know, get Rafe to get the drug back. And Rafe is like, well, that's going to be a problem. And Gabby's like, oh, well, I want my husband back. I was like, all right, Jesus Christ, lady, calm down. That's how she was throughout this entire scene. And I'm not going to lie, I was just like, okay, listen, I get it. Why don't you have something called fucking patience? So Rafe is like, listen, Rafe doesn't like you. So you're not going to get the drug from him. So they come up with an alternative. After Rafe tells them that, well, Stefan's mother is in the next room being booked. It's kind of a funny scene. Rafe is there talking to Vivian, and Rafe is like, you know, after, you know, he tells her about his son possibly being alive and stuff like that. He's like, listen, I'll be right back. I gotta, you know, start to process you for booking and stuff like that. And Vivian's like, for what? I'm like, yo, are you serious? It was 5 minutes ago. It was literally 5 minutes ago. Rafe was like, oh, you tried to shoot somebody. You tried to shoot Lonnie not that long ago. And she just had that look on her face. And, okay, granted, I can sit there and try to cut her a little bit of slack because she just found out that her dead son is alive. Okay, that's granted. I give her that. But to sit there and say for what? It's like, really? Anyway, they think, Gabby thinks it's a good idea for Jake to see, or for Stefan to see his mom because it'll jog his memory. So, Jake goes, Stefan, my good, what are you going to call this guy? Am I actually going to call him Stefan DeMero now? Or is he going to be Jake Lamp? Fuck it, let's call him Stefan. Stefford. Stefan, yeah, let's call him Stefan. So Stefan walks in. God, seriously? Jake walks in. I'm going to call him Stefan at some point, but Jake walks in. And Jake is, and the reason I'm calling him Jake is for two reasons. As far as I'm concerned right now, the way he is, he still identifies as Jake and not Stefan. So just to make the storytelling a little bit easier, I'm going to still call him Jake. Jake walks in and he sees Vivian, and that's when Vivian's like, oh, my son is back or whatever. And then the scene cuts. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. Wow, this is actually a kind of short review. To be honest, the whole thing with... I felt like the scene took a lot longer than it really should have. Like, when I described it, it came across so short. The whole argument that really happened between... Okay, there was one part that really did kind of annoy me a little bit. And this happened on 2 soap operas. So, Ben is sitting there talking to Claire, talking about you did it, this, that, and the third. And Gwen is like, well, she said she didn't do it, so she didn't do it in the story. And Ben says something, he mocks her accent for some reason. And it kind of annoyed me because I was like, dude, seriously? And this isn't the only show that they actually did that on. There was a scene, the review's over by the way. There was a scene in General Hospital when Diane and Martin Gray were, in the courtroom or whatever, talking and stuff like that. And Diane kind of made fun of his Southern accent. And I was like, what the hell? Are you serious? So it was something that just kind of annoyed me about when Ben did that. I was like, dude, seriously? What are you, 5 years old? And you know what? Listen, I give props to Gwen because, that's her friend. And sorry for the fireworks, but apparently people forgot it's not fucking 4th of July. That's her friend, and she's gonna sit there and stick up for her. She's gonna sit there and stick up for her friend. So I give her points for that. And I also gotta take some points away, so it's kind of difficult. When she found out that Gabby was free, she was upset. She was all like, oh, I'm gonna have to sit there and compete. Well, I don't know. She said she was gonna have to compete with Gabby, but she was like, oh, well, I'm gonna have to have her in my life or whatever, constantly meddling. And I'm like, seriously? I don't know. I know I said this before, but I'm not gonna lie. Even though Gabby's annoying as hell, Gabby and Gwen are both hot. Okay? We're really gonna sit there and compete over Jake? I seriously feel like this show needs more some more male bachelors in the show because that, I don't know. It's just like, is there no other men in Salem? Like, there's no other, I don't know, single men that's in Salem? Like, seriously? But yeah. So I thought that, I want to kind of talk about that for a little bit because I thought that was kind of interesting. But yeah, that's going to be the end of, this review. I had to do this review twice because the fireworks are so loud that I kept stopping and pausing. And it was just annoying. So, thank you for watching. I know this came out super late. So I appreciate people that do still watch. Thank you, and thank you for the comments. And yeah, I will see you in the next review.